The moment you wake, the universe is silently asking whether you will step into the same vibration as yesterday or collapse your reality into something entirely new. When your eyes open, your brain and heart do not simply start the day. They reboot the whole quantum program through the first thoughts, the first breath, the first feeling you allow in your chest. Every morning, your nervous system stands at a vibrational crossroads where old trauma, inherited beliefs, and ancestral memory can be recoded into peace if you dare to notice the subtle energy between one breath and the next. In the instant between sleep and waking, your non-local mind is still floating in the quantum field, deciding which timeline of yourself to download into your body. If you pay exquisite attention to that first moment of awareness, you can feel the observer effect in real time as your silent witnessing collapses infinite possibilities into the one life you are about to live today. Your heartbeat as you awaken is not just pumping blood. It is broadcasting a frequency into the field, attracting people, events, and synchronicities that match the story you are secretly agreeing to. The tension you feel between who you have been and who you are becoming is not a psychological problem. It is the creative friction that resets your reality every dawn. Each morning, your brain's neuroplastic networks soften for a few sacred minutes, allowing you to rewire patterns of fear into pathways of trust. If you are willing to stay present with the tremble in your chest, there is a version of you that wakes into coherence, calm power, and quiet joy every single day, and your breath is the bridge to that reality. One day, perhaps today, your eyes will open, your reality will reset, and you will finally recognize that you are not waking up inside your life. Your life is waking up inside your consciousness. The moment you wake, your reality does not continue automatically. It asks for your consent. Before language, before thought, before memory returns, there is a thin, luminous interval where you are only awareness, hovering between worlds, sensing the faint rhythm of your heartbeat, the weight of your body against the bed, the quiet presence of the room around you, and something else that cannot be named. In that interval, the universe waits. It waits to see what story you will remember first, what emotion you will invite into your chest, what frequency your nervous system will broadcast into the quantum field. You may notice that as you first begin to wake, there is a softness in your mind, a looseness in your thoughts, as if the rigid architecture of your personality has not yet fully taken shape for the day. This softness is not random, it is grace. It is the opening in which your reality can reset. Stay close to this moment now, even as you listen. Feel into the residue of your last awakening, the echo of the last morning you emerged from sleep. Your breath moves gently in and out of your chest. Your spine, even now, remembers the posture you choose each day. Collapsed or open, guarded or receptive. Somewhere in your abdomen, beneath layers of habit and tension, a quiet intelligence is listening. There is more to this than just waking up. Each time you wake, your brain shifts from the slow waves of sleep into the more focused frequencies of waking consciousness, and in that transition your neurons become highly suggestible, like wet clay, ready to take the imprint of the first images, the first words, the first unspoken assumptions about who you are. This is spiritual neuroscience, your biology and your metaphysics in intimate dialogue. The quantum field does not speak English. It responds to coherence. It responds to the way your breath, your heartbeat, your thoughts, and your emotions synchronize into a single vibrational message. When you open your eyes and immediately reach for a familiar worry, the field receives the signal, repeat yesterday. When you wake and allow the old story of unworthiness, scarcity, or loneliness to flood your nervous system, you are not just remembering the past, you are resetting your reality to match that past. But something in you is tired of that loop. You can feel it like a slight ache behind your sternum, a subtle tightening in your throat, a quiet protest from your spine that no longer wants to bend around the weight of old identities. You are listening now because a deeper part of you recognizes that the moment you wake is not a formality. It is a spiritual portal. Stay with this. We have not reached the most important part yet. As you wake, the observer effect comes alive within your own awareness. In quantum physics, the observer collapses potential into actuality, but in the temple of your body, the observer is your pure consciousness, and the potential is every possible version of your day that could unfold. Notice the paradox. Your life today is both already determined by your old conditioning and completely open at the same time. If this feels confusing, good. The mind trembles when it touches a deeper truth. Your nervous system holds a map of yesterday's emotions, the way frustration lit up your jaw, the way fear curled in your abdomen, the way shame pulled your shoulders forward and dimmed your chest. These patterns are neurochemical, but they are also vibrational signatures, pathways of energy and attention etched into your subtle body. When you wake, those pathways wait for your agreement. Your first conscious breath is a vote. Your first remembered grievance is a vote. Your first whispered gratitude is a vote. Feel your own breath now as if it were the pen writing today's reality onto the blank page of the quantum field. Inhale and sense the coolness at the tip of your nose, the slight expansion of your ribs, the gentle stretching across your chest. Exhale and feel how your body settles, how the bed or chair holds you, how gravity cradles you into this moment. Something is beginning to awaken beneath the surface of your awareness, not just as an idea, but as a sensation. The moment you wake, your reality resets at the level of sensation first, then at the level of thought. If you usually wake with a heaviness, perhaps a dull pressure in your solar plexus, a thickness in your limbs, a reluctance in your breath, that heaviness is the embodied memory of a story you have told about yourself for a very long time. The story might say, life is hard, or nothing ever changes, or I am alone. Your cells have been listening to that story. Your heart has been beating to its rhythm. Your muscles have been holding themselves in shapes that match that narrative. Yet in the silence just before those thoughts arise, there is another possibility, shimmering like a barely audible tone underneath the noise. This is the frequency of your deeper self, the self that does not need a story to exist. When you wake, you stand at the threshold. Will you tune into the dense frequency of old fear or the subtle frequency of this deeper presence? The choice is somatic, not just mental. If on waking, you guide your attention gently to your chest, you may notice a small, almost imperceptible vibration there, perhaps a delicate flutter, a warmth, or a feeling of spaciousness that does not yet have a name. If you let your awareness rest there without trying to analyze it, the heart begins to entrain the brain. This is coherent heart-brain resonance, where your emotional center and your cognitive center fall into a synchronized rhythm. In this coherence, your thoughts start to follow your heart's vibration instead of your old conditioning. There is more to this. You have been taught that waking up means returning to the real world, but the quantum field suggests another view. When you wake, the so-called real world is being constructed from your interpretations, your expectations, and your habitual emotional signatures. Your brain's neuroplastic circuits are not fixed highways. They are living rivers of electricity and chemistry, reshaping themselves according to what you sense. Here you place your attention. So when your eyes open and you immediately re-enter an unresolved argument, a financial worry or a self-judging thought, you are laying down more myelin, more neural strength in that direction. Your reality resets into that known discomfort because the nervous system finds familiarity safer than freedom. But right beside that well-worn path, there is another pathway, faint but present, the path of peace. Peace is not passive. It is a frequency. It has a texture in the body, perhaps like a soft cooling over the forehead, a gentle loosening at the base of the skull, a widening feeling along the back of the ribs, a quiet descending warmth along the spine. When you wake and deliberately attune to these sensations, even for a few breaths, you are instructing your nervous system to choose a different baseline. You are telling your cells, today we begin from coherence. Notice the paradox again. Nothing outside you has changed, and yet your entire reality is already resetting simply because your inner point of reference is shifting. Stay with this moment. We have still not reached the deepest layer. Underneath your personal stories, underneath your brain's wiring, there is a non-local mind that does not sleep. While your body rests, dreams, and heals, this non-local awareness remains connected to the quantum field of all possibilities. It wanders through symbolic landscapes, meets archetypal figures, rearranges memory, and explores potential futures. When you wake, most of this vast inner journey is forgotten by your conscious mind, but its residue lingers as mood. An unexplainable sadness, a quiet joy, a mysterious sense of anticipation. This mood is not random. It is the echo of your nighttime exploration, a vibrational message from your deeper self to your waking self. So the moment you wake, your reality does not merely resume. It is negotiating with this mood, this message. Do you dismiss it and immediately override it with habitual concerns? Or do you pause, sense, and ask, what is the frequency of my being in this first breath of the day? That question alone begins to reset your reality, because once you ask it, you step out of automatic pilot and into the role of observer. As observer, you are no longer trapped inside the story. You are aware of the story. You are no longer only the character struggling through circumstances. You are the consciousness through which the entire scene appears. Something in your spine straightens gently when you remember this. Your shoulders ease back a fraction. The muscles around your eyes soften. Your breath becomes less shallow, more generous. In this simple somatic shift, the quantum field feels a different signal. You are no longer broadcasting survival, you are broadcasting presence. There is more to this than metaphor. Every morning as you wake, your autonomic nervous system decides whether to emphasize sympathetic arousal, fight, flight, anxiety, or parasympathetic restoration, rest, heal, receive. This decision is influenced by your first waking thoughts, but even more deeply by your first waking sensations. If you wake and immediately tighten your abdomen, clench your jaw, or brace your shoulders, your body reads this as a signal that the world is unsafe, that the past is still happening. Stress hormones rise. Your thoughts follow suit. Reality resets into defense. But if, as you wake, you let your belly be soft for just 3 breaths, if you allow your jaw to loosen, your tongue to rest, your shoulders to drop by a single millimeter, your heartbeat to be felt rather than ignored, a different cascade begins. Your vagus nerve, the great river of relaxation that runs from brainstem through face, heart, lungs, and abdomen, receives the message, it is safe enough to open. This does not mean all problems vanish. It means your biology shifts from being a victim of reality to being a co-creator with reality. From this place, the thought, today will be difficult, has less power, and the thought, today is a field of possibilities, feels less like a spiritual slogan and more like a felt truth. Something is beginning to awaken. You may notice a slight tingling in your hands as you listen, or a warmth at the base of your neck, or a sense that your body is both heavier and lighter at the same time. This is not imagination. It is somatic intuition. Your cells are responding to new attention. They are hearing a different kind of inner voice. Each time this happens, your neuroplastic brain lays down new patterns. Your synapses strengthen around presence rather than problem. The moment you wake, day after day, these small shifts accumulate. At first, the old self resists. There is a collapse phase in every transformation when the structures that once kept you safe begin to fall apart. You might wake one morning and feel an unnameable anxiety, as if the identity you have carried for years is no longer fitting, no longer believable. The job title, the roles in your relationships, the story of being the victim or the overachiever or the caretaker, these identities used to stabilize your world. Now, as your reality resets at a deeper level, they begin to crack. You feel it as confusion. If I am not this story, then who am I? Old relationships might feel strangely distant. Habits that once numbed you lose their appeal or become intolerable. Your body may speak more loudly through tension, fatigue, or sudden surges of emotion. This is not a sign that you are failing. It is the nervous system shedding an outdated skin. The chaos is the doorway. Stay with this. Do not rush to patch up the cracks with new affirmations or spiritual bypassing. In the collapse phase, your inner architecture is being dismantled so that a more coherent structure can emerge. Every morning you wake into this phase, your reality resets at the edge of the unknown. It is tempting to retreat into familiar pain. It is more daring to stay present with the trembling. Notice where the trembling lives in your body. Is it a quiver in your chest, a flutter in the stomach, a restlessness in your legs, a buzzing in your hands? This trembling is sacred. It is the nervous system learning to hold more life, more truth, more unfiltered experience. As you wake up and feel this trembling without judgment, you allow your emotional frequency patterns to reorganize. The brain's fear circuits gradually loosen their grip. New neural pathways of curiosity and openness begin to form. There is more to this. Beyond collapse lies rebirth. One morning, perhaps gradually, perhaps suddenly, you wake and notice that your first breath feels different. There is a clarity in the air around you, as if the light itself carries a secret kindness. Your chest feels less armored, more spacious. Your thoughts, though still present, do not immediately swarm you. They float at a slight distance like clouds instead of storms. You swing your legs over the side of the bed and your feet touch the floor with a sense of arrival rather than obligation. This is not because your circumstances have dramatically shifted. It is because your inner reference point has changed. You are waking into coherence. Heart and brain are beginning to move in the same rhythm. Your breath and your intentions are aligned. The quantum field feels a different broadcaster. Now, when a familiar worry appears, you sense it as a pattern, not as truth. You feel its habitual pathway in your body, a slight contraction in the throat, a flutter in the belly, but you also feel a deeper space behind it, a stillness that does not contract. From that stillness, you can choose. Do you follow the old neural groove, or do you rest your awareness in the quiet expansion behind your sternum, where a new story is forming? Every morning you choose, your reality resets. When you choose coherence, even imperfectly, the field responds. You begin to notice small synchronicities, the right phrase arriving at the right time, a message from someone you were thinking about, a solution to a problem appearing in an unexpected shape. These are not random events, they are reflections of your vibrational alignment. Consciousness as creative force begins to reveal itself not as a metaphysical concept but as a lived experience. There is more to this. We are still descending. If you look closely at your mornings, you will see that each wake-up contains many micro-awakenings. You wake from sleep, then from your first thought, then from your mood, then from your old identity. Again and again, throughout the day, the moment you catch yourself lost and return to presence, your reality resets. The most powerful reset, however, remains that first sacred moment, so let us refine it. Tomorrow or the next time you wake, allow yourself a pause before the day enters. As soon as awareness returns, before you touch your phone, before you reach for memory, let your attention fall gently into your body. Sense the weight of your head on the pillow, the texture of the sheets, the temperature of the air across your face. Feel the movement of breath at the nostrils, the rise and fall of your chest, the subtle expansion of your ribs into the mattress or chair. Notice the first thoughts that try to rush in, and without following them, simply acknowledge there is a T, hort. Then feel the space in which that thought appears. This space is your non-local mind. It is the opening into the quantum field. As you rest there, even for a few seconds, you become less identified with the thought and more identified with the awareness that holds it. From this awareness, quietly invite a new frequency into your chest, perhaps the frequency of peace or gratitude or gentle curiosity. You do not need to force a feeling, simply notice any small sensation that even faintly resembles softness or openness. Amplify your attention there. Let your breath move through that softness, as if each inhale fans a small flame and each exhale gives it room to grow. As this happens, your heart's electromagnetic field subtly changes. Your brain begins to entrain to this new rhythm. Your muscles adopt a different baseline tone. Your entire being begins to broadcast, "This is my reality today," coherence, openness, quiet strength. The universe listens. Even your challenges meet you differently when you wake from this place. Arguments soften, obstacles reveal hidden gifts. Timing shifts in your favor. Not because some distant deity is manipulating events, but because your perception has changed, and perception is the lens that shapes reality. Something is beginning to awaken, not as a one-time event, but as an ongoing initiation. Your life becomes a series of conscious resets, each morning a deeper commitment to the vibrational truth of who you are. Eventually, there comes a morning when you wake and realize that you are not waking into your old life at all. You are waking into a life that is continuously arising from your present awareness. The past loses its grip. The future loses its threat. You feel your spine as a luminous axis connecting earth and sky. Your breath moves up and down this axis like a prayer. Your heart beats not only for your personal story, but as a drum for the collective awakening of consciousness. In this recognition, peace is no longer a state you visit occasionally. It is the ground from which you live. The moment you wake, your reality resets into this peace, not perfectly, not without waves or weather, but reliably, like the sunrise. There is more to this, but the essence is simple. Every dawn, the universe hands you a new brush and a fresh canvas. The brush is your attention. The canvas is the quantum field. What you paint first, through breath, sensation, thought, and emotion, sets the tone for the day's reality. You are not at the mercy of this process. You are the artist of it. Even now, as you sit here, something within you knows this. It feels like a quiet yes in the chest, a dignified lengthening in the spine, a gentle steadiness in the hands. This knowing is your truest self, the one who has been waiting patiently for you to wake, not just from sleep, but from the trance of limitation. The next time your eyes open and the world returns, remember your reality is not resuming. It is asking you with every breath, what vibration will you choose now? Let that question be the first light you see each morning. Let your answer rise not from fear, but from the still, coherent, luminous center of your being. In that answer, the moment you wake, your reality resets into a better life, not someday, not in theory, but now, again and again, as long as you are breathing